could have predicted the events that would unfold in the year 2020, especially the emergence of COVID-19, which has had a tremendously negative impact on all small business, including beloved comic book stores. Neighborhood institutions and engines of fan connection have struggled to keep their doors open, but all is not lost. Heroes like you are stepping up to help comic stores through the hardships. Give Comics Hope was founded to raise money for stores to preserve the magic they bring. With your help, we can give comics hope.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Den of Geek. I'm Chris Cummins, and today we're talking about Give Comics Hope. This is obviously a really difficult time for everyone, but comic stores, are really hurting as well. And fortunately, there's a great initiative happening right now in which you can get involved and really help save these comic stores that have given so much to us. To kick things off, I really want to talk about two of the people who are really making this happen. Hi, Bill. How are you today?
Hey, Chris. How's it going? I'm doing great.
I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, as well as how it came to be that you began Give Comics Hope.
Just about 50 years ago, I got involved in the comic book business by a fluke of buying a collection of old comics at a swap meet, only to read them, not to sell them and buy them. Within a year and a half or so, we opened up our first of 4 stores in San Diego, California. We had a major mail order company. As our business expanded, we realized that we need to get more comics in. So we started buying comics nationwide, ran ads inside Marvel and DC Comics to buy and sell, started a distribution company, just wholesale comics to other stores around the country, and later on started a publishing company called Pacific Comics, all under the same name, where we brought back Jack Kirby from Hanna-Barbera, Neil Adams, Dave Stevens from Rocketeer fame, and a number of other artists. And as the pandemic hit, I was in Italy, and so I decided I would come back to the US. And as I was traveling back, I was thinking about, what can I do to help out? What can I do to help somebody? So I came up with the idea of putting together a fundraising program or a charity drive to focus on the comic book stores. And the comic book stores are really in every city, town, metro area. They're the lifeblood of the community. They're like a library, they're like a bookstore. These are places where people can shop at, they can feel good about them. They can feel safe, they can feel comfortable. The store owners and the store managers and clerks behind the registers are super product knowledgeable. They're engaging. They can be great comrades in what your focus points are, suggesting new things for you to buy and read and enjoy. And I really felt like if we can get these stores some assistance, they might be able to weather this pandemic storm for a longer period of time than without a program like this. So through a series of conference calls with a bunch of my friends, we come up with an organization called Give Comics Hope, which is a total charity fundraising program. None of the volunteers are taking money. And the idea is to generate public awareness to comic stores, to bring the tree of life of the comic book community together. And the tree of life to me is the consumers that frequent comic stores, the comic book specialty retailers, the publish comics for comic stores, the creators, the printers, the licensing agents, the toy companies, all the different elements in the food chain. And I think we've achieved that to a certain amount of success here. We're pretty excited.
Jesse, since you are the owner of a shop, you own Jesse James Comics in Glendale, Arizona. I'm wondering if you can tell me kind of what your history with comics is and how it led to you starting your own shop in 2009.
I started off in January 25th, 1982 in the Friendly Neighborhood Comic Book Store in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I used to go across the street with my dollar and go through their 10-cent bins. And I would do this every day. In fact, I was so avid about it. My parents would give me $1 for lunch, and I would stop at Safeway, buy 4 packs of Bubblicious, pimp out those 4 packs for 50 cents each, so I would have my dollar and lunch to buy my comic books. And going every day, 5 days a week, and on the weekend with my Pro Huffy sport bike and learning how to carry comics without crashing and not ruining my comics. At that same time, I eventually got a job at 12 years old. And within 4 weeks, they had Jack Kirby in the store doing a store signing. So I got to watch the line for him. We had a dinner with him. So I'm eating spaghetti. He's got his hand on my head. And I really didn't understand that for many years, decades, really. I went through corporate America. And one day I just woke up and I went to work and I realized, why am I not doing what I love? Every Wednesday I go to my comic book store, I buy my books. It's the most happiest time I have. I walk out with great comic book therapy. It's a great experience. I quit my job at a major company and cashed in a part of my 401k, opened up Jesse James Comics in a completely different state. I opened up two blocks down from the biggest store, Atomic Comics at the time. And we just focused on comic book experience, great customer service, and making sure every experience was the best comic book therapy possible.
Why do you think there's something that's so just alluring and magical about comics in general?
When people walk in the store, or you can hear them yelling on their phone or slamming their door. And when they walk in, they're in their world, they are happy. The happiest comic book fan in the world is someone who walks out with a bag of comic books.
There's such an engaging format that not only do you read the written word, but you can experience the vision of the artists. These artists that are so talented, these men and women in the field, that give these visionary tales that are so inspirational, so enlightening, so informative, and so engaging. Not many things can do that. When you go into a hardware store, you don't get that effect.
Jesse, I'm wondering how you got involved with Give Comics Hope and how it came about that they chose your store and everything.
When I came into the comic book industry, it's a little bit different. I showed up at conventions in suits and had my laptop ready to make deals, and I learned that the comic book industry was more family orientated. It wasn't about corporate America, and it was about shaking hands, and it was really about working with great partners 7 days a week. And being able to pick up that phone and call in Philip at Boom or whoever it is, or Brian Polito or whoever it was, but it was about creating relationships. So over the last 11 years, we've created great relationships with people. We've created great platforms. We're a pivoting company. We pivot every day. There's not a day I'm not pivoting or doing something else. I also knew that stores were closing. And as stores were closing, I realized that when a store closed, the old saying was, when a store closed, we lost those customers. Well, now I realize, well, no, because of the platforms we could do today, I myself can help those orphan customers and give them a place to shop, whether they never came to my store live ever. And so what we decided was decided to go into the live venue, to where we were helping customers around the world that didn't have comic book stores to get their new issues or get to their back issues or to complete sets. And we started to team up with stores across the nation as well and saying, why don't you be part of this community? So I created Comic Book Shopping Network, which is the equivalent to Home Shopping Network, or QVC, where it's stores all day that just sell. I don't charge them. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to create this safe haven for comic book stores to make more money, to be able to take their back inventory and sell it to needy people around the nation, and also give them the ability to pay their own bills. Now, this was pre-COVID. So when COVID came out, we started to realize that our job was to go out and contact stores across the nation and show them how to do Facebook Live and how to invoice people and how to stay energized and energetic and understand what you need to turn and what you need to sell and what publishers you need to work with. And so during that process, we understood that helping stores was almost more important than my store being successful. That's what basically it came down to. And as I talked to publishers, it was, what are you doing to help comic book stores? What are you doing? Not the big stores, not the top 50 stores. What about the store in Rapid City or that store in Muncie? How are we helping those stores? And I think by having that goal, align myself with the people Bill was talking to, and I think that's how it all lined up all together.
I'm wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how people can get involved with donating.
So first of all, just to go back a little bit, when I came up with the idea, I felt it would be a difficult time to ask consumers and retailers and publishers and artists to donate cash right in the heart of the pandemic. Because right now people are being furloughed, type jobs are tough. But one thing I did know is that every part of the community of comics, again, the consumers, retailers, publishers, creators, all own stuff, a lot of stuff. And so it's easier to give away stuff than money because you've already paid for this stuff. And the consumers and retailers and publishers have this relationship with the stores that the donate help us store who's helped them out with their collection for years and years, sometimes decades. This is a very intimate experience where you've got old comics, you've got blank covers, you've got signatures on comics, graded comics, old action figures or toy statues, Randy Bone statues. You've got Golden Age, Silver Age, original artwork. If it's collectible, if it's got an aftermarket value, let's dive into the Drive for Five and you'll donate some stuff. I think you'll feel really good about it inside. You know, you're going to help out your stores across the country and around the world. And if they can maintain that business for a few more months or years, well, why not want to do that? We're almost like an insurance policy for them. If they don't need help, we'll give them a little extra money. If they do need help, we'll give them some money. And that's a good thing that we go then shop at the local store next month and next year, which otherwise may be in jeopardy of not happening.
We're getting a lot of original art. That's always a big, fun, cool stuff. But we're getting a lot of stuff from Dark Horse when it comes to huge statues, tons of Magnolia, big omnibus books, ready to ship. There's such a plethora in every genre that I think we'll have a good mix for a lot of people. Not everybody wants original art. Not everybody wants a statue, but everybody will have a choice.
Part of our volunteer group is for licensing industry representatives. These are top-notch licensing sales agents for the properties. And they've been going out to the movie studios and television studios asking for donations. So we've gotten in things from Breaking Bad that are signed, Walking Dead copies that the entire cast have signed off on merchandise. We've got a mask from the Flash TV show, one of the on-screen masks that'll be in the auction. We've got a really great amount of stuff that's quite exciting. And we have artists that have been doing custom drawings for us. So for example, Scott Shaw, who's a very fine, funny animal illustrator, has drawn 12 original head sketches, 2 from each of his most famous properties. So you have 2 Muppet sketches, 2 Flintstone sketches, 2 Scooby-Doo sketches, kind of each interacting with each other. So it's a great plethora of material that will be all go through Jesse's eBay site.
Will you both like to see donated, if anything specific?
It's less important to me that it's a graded comic book or a rare thing. It's more that pony up a few items that are worth $100 or more, it's a number, and show your support overall. It's not important whether it's the rarest of rare book or more common variant comic. It's important you show your support back to the comic stores so they can afford to support you for years to come.
So what we're looking for is not expensive. And I think what we want to be is we don't want to be too heavy in high dollar items and not have low dollar items, because obviously the most participants are the people that are going to be spending $20 to $100. That's your max group of people. So to me, it's really the bundles that you can send us. That would be awesome. Marvel, DC, known independent books. If it is going to be a key, known key, because in the comic book world now, most keys we never even heard of and they become keys overnight. So more modern day keys, if it was a New Man's 98 or First Prince of Cable or something like that, is awesome.
I'll start with you, Bill. Do you have any closing thoughts, anything else you'd like to say?
I think in my 50 years, I've been to over 2,000 different comic shops around the world. They really are part of my lifeblood. These are guys and gals that work very, very hard, that they really do attend to the local needs of the community, and they are deserving of our support.
We're part of people's lives, and I think Give Comics Hope give the great opportunity for people that have spent a good portion of their life in the comic book store, giving you knowledge about their family that they want to do at the bank or any place else. I think now's the time for them to give back to these stores and help them grow. It's great to think that a guy in Alaska can help a person in Boston, and a lady in Florida can help a store in Seattle. And that's what makes this so exciting. It's just not store eccentric, it's the whole nation. And you get to be involved in this by taking part in this. So it's time to give back and show these store owners that we're here with them every step of the way.
Bill and Jesse, I want to thank you so much for your time. And again, you can just go to givecomicshope.org to learn more about everything we're talking about today. And more importantly, to donate.